Hi guys, it's Angie with Fun Endeavors Tie-Dye Lab. Today let's make a Muck gravity spiral. I have the shirt turned inside out, and I'm going to begin the spiral down in the lower portion of the shirt. So using a washable marker, I'm going to make myself a mark where I would like to begin the spiral. I like to start these gravity spirals kind of down in that lower portion of the shirt to give an opportunity for the dye to move. I'm not going to spiral the entire shirt. I want to leave part of it free so that it can be gravity dyed on that portion. I'm using a pair of locking tweezers and I'm going to place them on the mark that I just made on the shirt. And then I'm using a microwavable splatter guard. And my splatter guard has got a hole in the center. I'm going to place the splatter guard over the top of the locking tweezers with the flat side next to the shirt. As I spin the tweezers, I'm going to use my other hand to make additional folds in the shirt and to straighten the folds that are formed. Like I said, I'm not going to spiral the entire shirt, just part of the shirt. And I'm not going to tie the shirt or hold the folds in place with rubber bands or anything else. I really want to allow free movement of the dye. Once I have the shirt spiraled, I'm going to carefully pick it up and place it down inside of a plastic wash tub, which I purchased from the Dollar Tree dollar store. I'm placing the spiral part down in the bottom of the container, and I'm going to leave the untied portion or the unspiraled portion hanging over the edge. That's going to be my gravity dyed portion of the shirt. I guess you could kind of call it partially a wick dye and a gravity dye, because the dye is going to be wicked up through that area from the container, and then gravity is going to pull it on down through the rest of the shirt. I'm going to go ahead and apply the dye to the shirt while it's still damp. And I thought, since I'm doing a Muck gravity spiral, what better colors to use than the spring Muck colors from Dharma Trading Company. These were special colors that Dharma had available in spring of 2024, and I don't believe they're available anymore. I'm going to start by applying Stonehenge to two areas on the shirt across from each other. I'm not going to apply too much dye because I want to allow some space for the dye to move and to split if this dye is going to split. I made color swatches of these colors, but I haven't used them on a project yet, so I'm excited to see how they look. Next, I'm going to use Be Pacific on the area that is closest to the gravity dye portion. And I'm going to use Himalayan salt in the area that's remaining. The Himalayan salt is very fine, almost like a super fine sand. Now I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of additional dry soda ash over the top, and then I'm going to add on some ice. I'm going to add quite a bit of ice to this container because I'm going to take this shirt outside, so my ice is going to melt pretty fast, but I want to make sure I have plenty of muck to be pulled through the shirt. I don't want to just have a little bit down in the bottom of the container. So if you're wondering what the term muck means, all that is it is the melting ice that's mixed with the dye. Once I have the ice on, I'm going to take this container outside and stick it on a metal shelving unit that I have underneath my trees. I've added a couple of process photos so you can see how the dye was moving through the shirt. The ice was melting and the dye was getting wicked up and through the shirt when we got a thunderstorm. So I brought the container in and I put it inside of a plastic Tupper tote that I had a metal rack down in the bottom. That allowed the shirt to still pull the dye through it without the bottom of the shirt or the very ends of the shirt hanging over the container to be down inside of the runoff. I allowed the shirt to process about another 24 hours, then I took it to my utility sink to rinse it. As you can see, I still have some muck down in the bottom. It didn't pull all of the muck through the shirt. I started rinsing the shirt in cold water to rinse the soda ash out of the shirt. Then I warmed the water up to hot, and I continued rinsing to rinse out the excess dye that didn't bond with the fabric. Like normal, I went ahead and soaked my shirt in some really hot water, and I added a little bit of Blue Dawn dish detergent to the water. When the water cooled off, I changed it out, and I continued that soaking process until my water was remaining almost clear. You know, it's really hard to soak out blues, so be patient. I mean, you'll get there, but it does take quite a bit of soaking to get the blues fully rinsed. Then I put the shirt, along with some Dharma's professional textile detergent, into my washing machine, and I washed it on a hot water cycle. Okay, so I've washed, dried, and ironed the shirt, and let's see what it looks like. Okay, so what do you guys think? I think this one turned out looking pretty cool. I know you may have heard other tie-dyers say that you cannot mess with the muck dye at all, or it's going to totally mess it up. And depending upon your colors, some of that is true. I mean, if you're using, say, purple and orange together on a shirt, and you move your container a whole lot and those colors mix, yes, it very well could cause brown on your shirt and mess up your design. But in this case, leaving this shirt outside with as much rain as we got would have messed it up pretty bad. So moving the container to bring it inside didn't cause any damage to this shirt. The colors that I used are colors that don't look bad together, and they don't mix to form something that would look horrific on the shirt. A couple of years ago, I saw someone who actually conducted an experiment where they moved their muck dyes to see how much damage it caused to the shirt. And truthfully, it didn't cause a whole lot. Like I said, I know some people think, once you muck dye a shirt, you have to put your container aside and never touch it until you rinse it. And like I said, depending upon your design and the colors that you've used, that may be very true. But I honestly don't know that it's quite as big of a deal as some tie-dyers make it out to be. Most of my muck dyes I leave alone and don't mess with, but in this case, I had to. So thankfully, it didn't cause any bad result on the shirt to go ahead and move my container. So I really like these 3 muck dyed colors. I like the Bee Pacific. I think that's a really pretty color. And the Himalayan Salt, you can see some of the yellow that is coming off of that color. The Stonehenge, I don't know, it just has quite a few different colors. It's got some kind of mauve-y shades to it. I think a little bit of green may be coming off of that color. They're really pretty. I think this looks like a stormy sea, which is perfect with the storm that came through to call this the stormy sea. I also like the muck dyed portion. I know I've done rack dyed spirals, but I don't know that I've done a muck dyed gravity spiral. This one may be my first one. And I like it. I like the softness of the colors up toward the neck or the top of the shirt, and I like how that more gray blue ended up on one sleeve. It's kind of got a dark and stormy look to that one sleeve of the shirt. So overall, I like this shirt, and I think it looks really pretty. But what do you guys think? Please drop me some comments down below and let me know. And if you've enjoyed watching the video, I sure would appreciate it if you would like it, and if you'd subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you'll hit the bell, you'll receive a notification whenever I upload a new video. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a great day.